Nefertiti 3C1370C, 1330 BC was a queen of the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt, the great royal wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten. Nefertiti and her husband were known for their radical overhaul of state religious policy, in which they promoted the earliest known form of monotheism, Atenism, centered on the sun disk and its direct connection to the royal household. With her husband, she reigned at what was arguably the wealthiest period of ancient Egyptian history. Some scholars believe that Nefertiti ruled briefly as Nefertiti after her husband's death and before the ascension of Tutankhamun, although this identification is a matter of ongoing debate. If Nefertiti did rule as pharaoh, her reign was marked by the fall of Amarna and relocation of the capital back to the traditional city of Thebes. Queen consort of Egypt tenure 1353 to 1336 BC or 1351 to 1334 BC, born c. 1370 BC Thebes, Egypt, died c. 1330 BC, spouse Akhenaten issue Meritaten Meketaten and Kesenemen Nefertiti Tasheret Neferneferur Sedepenri names Nefertiti Nefertiti dynasty 18th of Egypt, father A, possibly mother Ui, possibly religion Atenism. Nefertiti and Fiarn Fruit and Fiar TJY.TJ beautiful are the beauties of Aten. The beautiful one has come, great royal wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten. She was made famous by her bust, now in Berlin's Neues Museum. The bust is one of the most copied works of art of ancient Egypt. It was attributed to the sculptor Thutmose, and it was found in his workshop. Nefertiti had many titles including Hereditary Princess Irit Pt, Grade of Praises Wert Achet Lady of Grace Nebet Imat, and TDJM Suite of Love Beneret Merut, Bertmernt Lady of the Two Lands Nebet Tawi, and TD Tuj, Main King's wife, his beloved Hemet Nisut at Mertef, Mount Nus Timert F. Great King's wife, his beloved Hemet Nisut were at Mertef, Mount Nust wert Mert F. Lady of all women Hinut Hemet Nebu, Nut Emwet En Button Mistress of Upper and Lower Egypt Hinut Shemo Mehu, Nut Emu, while modern Egyptological pronunciation renders her name as Nefertiti. Her name was the sentence Nfr-TJJ.TJ, the beautiful one has come, and probably contemporarily pronounced Naftita from older Nafrat Ida or perhaps Nafert Yidi. Nefertiti's name, Egyptian Nfr.T-JY.TJ, can be translated as the beautiful woman has come. Family in early life, see also 18th dynasty of Egypt family tree. Almost nothing is known about Nefertiti's life prior to her marriage to Akhenaten. Scenes from the tombs of the nobles in Amarna mention that Nefertiti had a sister named Mudbinret. Further, a woman named Te carried the title of nurse of the great royal wife. In addition, Te's husband A carried the title God's father. Some Egyptologists believe that this title was used for a man whose daughter married the pharaoh. Based on these titles, it has been proposed that A was in fact Nefertiti's father. However, neither A nor Te are explicitly referred to as Nefertiti's parents in the existing sources. At the same time, no sources exist that directly contradict his fatherhood, which is considered likely due to the great influence he wielded during Nefertiti's life and after her death. According to another theory, Nefertiti was the daughter of A and a woman besides Te, but A's first wife died before Nefertiti's rise to the position of queen, whereupon A married Te, making her Nefertiti's stepmother. Nevertheless, this entire proposal is based on speculation and conjecture. It has also been proposed that Nefertiti was Akhenaten's full sister, though this is contradicted by her titles, which do not include the title of king's daughter or king's sister, usually used to indicate a relative of a pharaoh. Another theory about her parentage that gained some support identified Nefertiti with the Mitanni princess Tutankhamun, partially based on Nefertiti's name. The beautiful woman has come, which has been interpreted by some scholars as signifying a foreign origin. However, Tutankhamun was already married to Akhenaten's father, and there is no evidence for any reason why this woman would need to alter her name in a proposed marriage to Akhenaten, nor any hard evidence of a foreign non-Egyptian background for Nefertiti. The exact dates when Nefertiti married Akhenaten and became the king's great royal wife are uncertain. They are known to have had at least 6 daughters together, including Meriteten, Meketaten, Ankhesenpaten, later called Ankhesenemen, when she married Tutankhamun, Neferneferten Tasheret, Neferneferur, and Setepenri. She was once considered as a candidate for the mother of Tutankhamun. However, a genetic study conducted on discovered mummies suggests that she was not. Nefertiti first appears in scenes in Thebes. In the damaged tomb TD188 of the royal butler Perenefer, the new king Amenhotep IV is accompanied by a royal woman, and this lady is thought to be an early depiction of Nefertiti. The king and queen are shown worshipping the Aten. In the tomb of the vizier Ramos, Nefertiti is shown standing behind Amenhotep IV in the window of appearance during the reward ceremony for the vizier. Records, it is replaced by that of a co-regent named Neferneferten, who became a female pharaoh. It seems likely that Nefertiti, in a similar fashion to the previous female pharaoh Hatshepsut, assumed the kingship under the name Pharaoh Neferneferten after her husband's death. It is also possible that, in a similar fashion to Hatshepsut, Nefertiti disguised herself as a male and assumed the male alter ego of Smenkhare. In this instance, she could have elevated her daughter Meriteten to the role of great royal wife. If Nefertiti did rule Egypt as pharaoh, it has been theorized that she would have attempted damage control and may have reinstated the ancient Egyptian religion and the Amun priests, and had Tutankhamun raised in with the traditional gods. Archaeologist and Egyptologist Dr. Zahi has theorized that Nefertiti returned to Thebes from Amarna to rule as pharaoh, based on Ushabti and other feminine evidence of a female pharaoh found in Tutankhamun's tomb, as well as evidence of Nefertiti smiting Egypt's enemies, which was a duty reserved to kings. Pre-2012 Egyptological theories thought that Nefertiti vanished from the historical record around year 12 of Akhenaten's reign, with no word of her thereafter. Conjectured causes included injury, a plague that was sweeping through the city, and a natural cause. This theory was based on the discovery of several Ushabti fragments inscribed for Nefertiti, now located in the Louvre and the Brooklyn Museum. A previous theory that she fell into disgrace was discredited when deliberate erasures of monuments belonging to a queen of Akhenaten were shown to refer to Kia instead. During Akhenaten's reign, and perhaps after, Nefertiti enjoyed unprecedented power. By the 12th year of his reign, there is evidence she may have been elevated to the status of co-regent, equal in status to the pharaoh, as may be depicted on the co-regency stela. It is possible that Nefertiti is the ruler named Neferneferten. Some theorists believe that Nefertiti was still alive and held influence on the younger rules. If this is the case, that influence and presumably Nefertiti's own life would have ended by year 3 of Tutankhaten's reign, 1331 BC. In that year, Tutankhaten changed his name to Tutankhamun. This is evidence of his return to the official worship of Amun, and abandonment of Amarna to return the capital to Thebes. New theories in 2012. The discovery of an inscription dated to year 16, month 3 of Akhet, day 15 of the reign of Akhenaten was announced. It was discovered within Quarry 320 in the largest wadi of the limestone quarry at Deir Ab Inis. The 5-line inscription, written in red ochre, mentions the presence of the great royal wife, his beloved mistress of the 2 lands, Neferneferten Nefertiti. The final line of the inscription refers to ongoing building work being carried out under the authority of the king's scribe Panthu on the small Aten temple in Amarna. Vanderper stresses that this inscription offers incontrovertible evidence that both Akhenaten and Nefertiti were still alive in the 16th year of his Akhenaten's reign, and more importantly, that they were still holding the same positions as at the start of their reign. This makes it necessary to rethink the final years of the Amarna period. This means that Nefertiti was alive in the 2nd. Therefore, the rule of the female Amarna pharaoh known as Neferneferten must be placed between the death of Akhenaten and the accession of Tutankhamun. Neferneferten, this female pharaoh, specifically used the epithet effective for her husband in one of her cartouches, which means she was either Nefertiti or her daughter Meriteten, who was married to King Smenkhare.